The streak has ended. After more than 1 year, the SPY went down more than 2% in 1 day. Hey there, Tamir from FibonacciTraders.com, your daily market recap. Like, subscribe, and let's see the charts. The reddest day in more than 1 year, more than 365 days, SPY finally broke the streak. 2.27% to the downside. Now, this area where price is now is a super critical area of support. Why? It's, first, look left. It's the lower border of this uptrend channel. This uptrend channel holding the higher lows. Will it hold again? Below it, 535 gap will get filled. Below the 535, brace yourself. We are heading back to the 522. It's also a very, very important crossroads between trend lines. Now, where price might be heading next, just put FTI. And as you can see, below this area, the next support is closing the 535 gap. Below it, 527 and 516. RSP, the equal weight ETF, closed this gap. We said this gap will be getting filled, and here we are now at the 50% retracement. The 167 area is the support. Below it, 165 gap will get filled. Yes, we are in a pullback all across the board. Doesn't mean that the bull market is over. Every bull market has its correction. We got it here during August, September, and October of 2023. We got it over here just 3 months ago during March and April. Now we are in the same correction, but look at the QQQ, still holding inside the long-term uptrend channel. And as long as we are above this red line, we are heading north. But for now, bearish on all time frames. Don't try to catch a falling knife. Yes, it's a falling knife. QQQ, since all-time highs, 8% to the downside. 8 is a Fibonacci number. Is this the end? Not at all. 453, in my opinion, incoming below this area. We are heading south to the 440 and the 422. And then we can say this bull run is over. Dow Jones 1.2% to the downside, holding strong. The 50% area, bearish on 3 out of 4 time frames, but we are still bullish on the weekly. Now, 394 is the next support. Below it, 390. IWM 2.15% to the downside, but look left, trade right. IWM is back. 2 days, just 2 days ago, on Monday, it was the same price. No fear. Still bullish on the daily, bullish on the weekly. 215 area needs to hold the support, but we do need to prepare for the worst case. Always prepare for the worst case, always protect your downside. We have a double top scenario on the IWM. Look at the line chart, double top scenario. Below the 215, first this gap will get filled, the 211, and then we will see 208. If the 208 will break to the downside, this gap at the 203 will get filled. Bitcoin 1.8% to the downside by the time that I'm recording this video. 4 consecutive days to the downside. Now the 62,700 is the next support. Below it, 6,859 overall. We got ourselves the sell signal Bitcoin. We are still lower highs on the Bitcoin. On the long term, always look left, trade right. Do not follow anyone blindly on social media because no one knows what will happen next. Where are we now? High, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower lows. 62,700 needs to hold on the Bitcoin. Ethereum, by the time that I'm recording this video, look at this, second day in a row, we are now 9% to the downside in just 2 trading days. Next support is the 30 the 3100 below it, 2970, and then 28 overall. Ethereum, high, lower high, lower high. Are we going to retest the 2800? If this will break, we're heading south to the 23 and 2050. Everybody's talking about Bitcoin going to 150, 200. Ladies and gentlemen, no one knows what will happen next. All we need to do is follow price, and for now, price on the Bitcoin, price of Ethereum, not looking good on the long term. Since March, lower highs, lower lows on both of them. XLF 1.4% to the downside, breaking inside the yellow zone. 3 out of 4 timeframes we are bearish. 42 and 41.70 are next. XLU continues to be green, 1.12% to the upside, holding strong above the upper border of the yellow zone, the 70 area, holding strong, bullish on all time frames. As long as we are above the 70, we will see 71.70, and we can take also the FTI to the upside, and we will see 72, 75, and 77 to the upside. XHB breaking to the downside. Not really. Look left. 1 week, 7 consecutive days, trading days. Not much of a price action, right? Just went back to the same price it was 2 days ago on Monday. The 109, on the other hand, is a very, very important area of support. Breaking below the 109.60, we will see this gap getting filled, and then back to the 105. Magnificent 7 ETF, the MAGS. Ladies and gentlemen, this uptrend is done. We are finished with this uptrend. We are going steep down to the 42.12 area, bearish on all time frames. And look at this ETF since the peak of just 2 weeks ago. 12%, 13% to the downside. Next we have 42. Is this the time to start picking and buying the MAGS? Bearish on all time frames. Do not try to catch a falling knife, because if you try to catch a falling knife, you will get cut. SOXX, the semiconductors ETF, 5.3% to the downside. Now we are at the lower border of this broadening formation. We need this gap at the 224 to get filled and to look for some kind of a bounce. Until we will not see a bounce, everything now is under the definition of a falling knife until proven otherwise. Carry 1.8% to the downside, but look at this. 55.70 needs to hold. We are still bullish on 3 out of 4 time frames. Yes, there are some sectors on the green side. Is it the time to start loading? Is it time to start buying? In my opinion, this is the time where we need to sit and wait for this turmoil to be over with. Like, subscribe, don't forget to check the links in the description below. Join me on this amazing journey on how to be profitable trader, whether the market goes up, whether the market goes down. We don't care. We adjust ourselves to longs, shorts, day trading, swing trading. Wherever the market is telling us, we follow and we make money. Apple 2.9% to the downside. Apple breaking below the yellow zone. We are bearish on the daily, still bullish on the weekly, but is it the time to go long on Apple? In my opinion, no. First, look at this trend line. Trend lines are the most important areas of support and resistance, together with Fibonacci, of course. Look at this trend line. Still holding the higher lows since April, which means still bullish on the weekly, but on the daily, look at this. Apple, just a few days ago, 8% to the downside. Continuation to the downside, 214, 208, and then back below 200 to the 191. Microsoft 3.6% to the downside, breaking an uptrend line. Now the 426 area needs to hold a support. Otherwise, we will continue to see Microsoft breaking to the downside, 416 and 400. This gap needs to get filled. And in my opinion, we will see it getting filled. All the big names, July 31st, August 1st, are going to post their earnings. Google bearish on all time frames. Google now holding the 172. Below it we will see 166 and 156 gap. The whole market have a gap way down under. And these gaps needs to get filled. Yes, Google has another 9% to the downside. So what? After this bull run, since the low of March, Google went up 46%. Will it give back more than 50% of it? Might. But we are still heading towards Q4 of 2024. Q4 of 2024 will be super interesting. Tesla, 12.3% to the downside. We said Tesla is going to fill this gap at the 212. Check the videos in the previous days and you will see we said if market will not respond positively to Tesla's earnings, this gap will get filled and we are less than 1 inch away. 3 points to this gap. Will it get filled? In my opinion, in the next trading day, this gap will get filled and we will see 203 to the downside. But look at this. We have this trend line. This long-term downtrend line since July of 2023. 1 year of a downtrend broke beginning of July 2024. Now it's getting retested as support. Will it hold a support? If not, 203 and 182 incoming on Tesla. Nvidia 6.8% to the downside. Nvidia breaking another major support, the 118 area, the neckline of this double top scenario. We've been talking about this double top scenario in the past few weeks or so. We said no longer on Nvidia. First, look at the FTI, bearish on all time frames, continuation to the downside, 109, 107 gap, and then 96. Is it time to start picking up Nvidia? Bearish on all time frames. You do your own due diligence. In my opinion, Nvidia is going further south. Amazon continues to break to the downside, 3% to the downside. Amazon broke a major area of support. Bearish on all time frames. Now the 180 needs to hold, otherwise 174 and 167, and also Amazon have a gap at the 160. Netflix 1% to the downside, holding relative strength. The 630 area, very important area of support, breaking below it, 610 and 586. AMD, just another day, 6% to the downside. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Go back, check my previous videos, and you will see that by really understanding price action, how to read candles, how to read Fibonacci and trend lines, of course, together with multi-time frame price action, you will know where price might be heading next. We said that below the 160, AMD is going for this lower border of this broadening formation together with the red line, together with the 145 area as support. Look at this, where price hit low of the day. The exact area cannot be more accurate than this. If you want to know how to do it, check the links in the description below. Choose your path to become profitable trader. Whether you want the one-on-one live mentorship with me, or the same program, the expert program. It's the same program as the mentorship, but pre-recorded. Both programs will gain you lifetime access for support, guidance from me, all Discord channels. Invest in yourself, and I will give everything that I have to make you a profitable trader. Meta, 5.6% to the downside. Back to the 460 area. 460 area is a very, very important area of support. Look left, trade right. Super important area of support during February. Super important area of support during May. Now, if this area will break to the downside, 400 gap is incoming. Palantir, PLTR, 7.7% to the downside, breaking inside the yellow zone, 26.20 now is the support. Below it, 25 and 24 to the downside. Shopify, 5.4% to the downside. Shopify breaking a broadening formation. So this broadening formation is not relevant anymore. We are going into a broader broadening formation. Where to? Just look left. Try to identify the next major broadening formation. Ladies and gentlemen, we're heading south. Now, look left. Where price is now? Support of November 2023. Breaking below, we will see 56. Breaking below this gap at the 49 area will get filled together with the lower border of this broadening formation going into earnings August 7th. Yes, everything that you see, everything that I do, how I look at charts, how I analyze, how I trade what I see, everything I teach you and more. Why? Because I want you to be able to do the same thing that I'm doing. I'm giving you all my almost 8 years of experience in this mentorship program with lifetime access. I'm giving you all my knowledge because I want you to become a profitable trader. And of course, it comes with lifetime access because I know it takes time. It took me 2 years until I found my profitable way. And I want to shorten your journey to become a profitable trader. For some of you, it will take 3 months. For some of you, it will take 6 months. For some of you, it will take maybe 1 month and maybe 1 year. It doesn't matter. I will be there with you hand in hand. MicroStrategy 2.85% to the downside. Now going back to retest the 1580 area. Below it, this gap will get filled. SMCI 9.15% to the downside. SMCI breaking a major area of support. The 760 area now heading south to this trend line bearish on all time frames. AVGO 7.6% to the downside. AVGO, as long as we are inside this downtrend channel, lower highs, lower lows, this gap needs to get filled. And then we have another gap over here at the 146 area together with the lower trend line, the green one. AVGO going south. Eli Lilly 2% to the downside. Eli Lilly not looking good. Not looking good. The 836 area needs to hold the support. Below it, 800 and 756. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, like, subscribe, check the links in the description below. Join me today on this amazing journey on how to become profitable trader, whether the market goes up or the market goes down. We make money together. Until the next video, until the next live, stay safe.